Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to us. It's the first of the week. Whoop, there's the volume. I like that. That's good. But for the rest of the world, it's on its second day of finance and the world functioning. We had our Labor Day. Everybody else in the world has it. I guess they have it in May, but we have ours in September. So that's what has been going on around here. We were having fun, working hard, swimming, playing, doing all kinds of wonderful things. Metho, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. I saw some interesting stories over the last couple days, and we'll bring them to you as I take a sip of my tea. Hey, Robin. Sakura, hello. I believe I said that right, isn't it? Sakura? There we go. Welcome. So, we start off, we can see here the dollar index, being the dollar index. Yesterday, or 2 days, I guess Friday, no, yesterday, was like a 20-year high. You can see it here today. It's bouncing along, lots of green here. On J4X, you can see the green line up. Maybe a little twist there, just like we're having our little twist. We're in a bigger twist here, you can see that. But at the same time, still in the buy. Both of them are still in the buy. And it's in a weekly buy going on a fourth week. And you can see we're over 20 years on a high. That's what they say it is. So I'll say it out loud with everybody else. Jordan! Try my name. Yes. Oh, I did do it. I did it well? Good. Lazek Skura or Sakura? I hope I said it right. Hey, Jordan. Howdy, howdy. At this point in time, what we have is the dollar index being the dollar index, which is kind of surprising. Yesterday, in the thin market, because the United States was closed, I thought, okay, they're pushing these things down. I saw the euro looking strong, last night or yesterday afternoon. And I thought, oh, okay, maybe it'll take a digestion here. Sit back, wait, let it happen for a while. But, is the dot and the O like okay? Is that what that is? Is that a good thing? Ooh. So, and that seems to be the way it's going around here anymore. The dollar just seems to find ways to get stronger. Then we ran across this story. I'm going to show it to you on the screen here. No, that's not it. That's my email. There it is right there. This story right here I thought was interesting about the Chinese market. China slashes FX deposit requirements to prop up the yuan, but only delays the inevitable. That type of thing. There's a lot of action in the currencies I guess you could say in a very soft way, not like major slams or roars, where they take it up hard. But overall, the currencies have been relatively calm, and that's obviously the drive, of the quantitative easing is to keep everything calm. So, in this case here, you can see that the dollar index with a 20-year high, and obviously you could say the same thing when we go to the euro. Look at the euro there. We are looking at probably a 20-year. I forget when the euro started. We tried to start that thing in the 90s. So, wasn't it around the turn of the century? When did the euro unit start to be traded? I want to say it was in the late 90s, early, turn of the century. And then there's always as I sip my tea again, and then there's always the debate, it's going to go to par. It's going to go to par. Now, we're at par. It is at par. And you can see here, it's just flirting with the daily buy right there. It's on the edge of it. You can see here we're in a weekly sell now for a fourth week over on J4X. Let's go to that and see what they're doing there. And there it is right there. And it's still, it's still red. Same situation. And you can see it's trying to turn up just like ours is trying to turn up right there. And we got a lot of those red dots going on right there. and it does seem like the euro is trapped in that range in there. It doesn't seem like anything else is going on when it comes to that. Yeah, of course it's playing at the par. Everybody's been hoping and wishing and so forth and so on to see the par. I mean, the par is here now. That's the 100. That's why we call it par, because it's like, 100 or evens. We always talk about them that way. So, in this case here, you can see the euro trying to do this, and at the same time, it's been a long drive down. It has been. It's been very. We went from the. Well, actually, again, it's really tight compared to these bigger moves that came from 110 back in April. Now we're coming down from 104 and 103. So it has been relatively passive. It just looks more exciting when looking on the charts. Remember, traders, if you want to see anything, just yell it out. If not, I'll just keep on rambling about different products we see and what we talk about each day. But if you want to, say, hey, I'd like to see, yen this or gold or whatever. It doesn't really matter. If you want to see something, we can stop what we're doing, go check it out, and then we go back into our rhythm. All right. So from there, let's dance our way over to, let's see, the British pound. Right there. Now that's even stronger looking in many ways. So they're buying some pounds. Let's see what it looks like here. Right there. Yeah, it's much stronger. Look at that. It's really pushing through it. I think this morning I was getting a red-green somewhere. Now it's just pure green. But it's also just like the euro. It's 4 weeks in a sell, since this area. So we'll see if this is just a dead cat bounce. Ooh, Comarfith. Hey, how you doing? Comarfith. Vith. We'll just call you Co. How you doing, Co? Have anything you want to see? We're really no. I guess I'm not surprised, but I am surprised that the dollar just keeps on going up and up and up, and it's like a big question mark in my head. Like I would love to see it back off a little bit here and there to give chance to trade it more. But the thing is always constantly just roaring in one direction. It's very solid, and I guess the inflation. I was explaining it to somebody yesterday at a barbecue, where I make the joke every day. America buy low, sell high. Europe buy low, sell it lower. And I think we even labeled yesterday's webinar. We talked about it, how the ECB will not go the way of Cyprus. And for all you around here that may do remember Cyprus, how they took all the money from the bank accounts and gave the customer stock and limited their access to it. And over the weekend, I guess it was Friday, there was the headlines about margin expansion and problems with the energies, and just all kinds of problems in general. And the markets were 0.75 percentage point increase in interest rates. So things are not smoothed in Europe. And they've been held down for 12, 13 years, right? 12 years, at least 11, 12 years. That's for sure. And then just recently, things are finally starting to function, where I don't know if anybody is giving you minus yield now. But for, there was like 14, 15 trillion in European bonds trading in the minus. So in other words, you took your money, you bought the bond, and then instead of them paying you interest, you paid the government interest. And that's why I always make the joke of, in the United States, we buy low, sell high. And in Europe, you buy low and sell lower. No complaints. We're just just enjoying the charts, enjoying. We had a 3-day weekend here, and we just did we did our webinar yesterday, and it's very interesting times in trading in general. It really is. It's a really to me, as a trader for 45 years, I find these times incredibly fascinating. We're seeing things that have never happened in my lifetime as a trader, and we're seeing things happen that have never happened in the lifetime of the markets. In recorded markets, 400 and 500 years, that type of thing. So it's been very interesting, and and that makes it very easy to do a webinar because they're to see unique things like this. And then yesterday when we saw that Europe was in a tizzy over the 0.75% increase and the energy situation, it was very easy to go back and relate to what happened to Cyprus back in 2013. So we do enjoy doing this for those reasons alone. I mean, it's very unique, and for traders, different. Something changing is always interesting. So, all right, from there we slide over to, where do we go to? We go to the Swiss dollar Swiss pairs trade. Let's take a look at that. Right there. You can see it. It is flirting with the daily sell today, but it's still in the weekly buy right there for the last 3 weeks. So the overall strength has been on the upside. We'll take a look at it on J4X. What did I do? I just turned something off, didn't I? What did I turn off? Nope, that's not right either. I really blew this one. Oh, I guess I started a second one. That's what it is. Oh, there it is. There we go. And so let's put that in there. There is the dollar Swiss. I'm sorry, dollar Swiss right there. You see that strength that's been in it. All that green, only one red. These are daily charts, and you can see it went down. Put some pressure on it a little bit and turned right back up again. So that is the gist of it all, is that the dollar just seems to stay steady at the moment. And we're not really a big fan of the dollar here. We think it's way overpriced, but it doesn't seem to be able to go down, and there just doesn't seem to be an alternative. Especially as much as China and Russia give a lot of mouth service, as we would call it. In other words, they complain and do this and they do that. If they just start some capitalism in their countries, they could easily be a player in those markets, but they refuse. They keep on pushing the socialism, and socialism doesn't grow. So if it doesn't grow, how do you expect to grow your currency? From there, we slide over to the Turkish lira. Let's go to the dollar Turkish lira right there, and you can see there, looks like another almost all-time high. You can see the high there was 1826. Today it's 1823. Yesterday it was 1823 and change. 4 days back it was like 1822. So it's been hanging above that $18 area. That made the government get involved in it last time very aggressively. But this time it seems like the Turkish government is stalled. They don't seem to be able to get anything going on. But what's the oddest, interesting part of all this today is it is in a daily sell. So that's pretty cool. We haven't seen that. Daily sells have lasted. Where's the last daily sell? There's the last daily sell, right? Let's put a couple of these in there. There's the last daily sell right there. And it went right back into the buy again a day later there. So you can see it, it doesn't last in a sell long. Now in this case here, they had something up their sleeve. They knew something was coming, because look at that slam. And, so they go in the daily sell there for a couple of days. Is it a couple of days even? There's minus on plot 1. There's a minus on plot 1 again on the 5th. So for 3 days it's in a sell. They slam it down. And then the following 2 days they find a way to lift it back up again. Right there, and to get back into the buy. And now we are back into the sell again. So, but we've been in a weekly buy. That's the crazy part, is a weekly buy. I mean, this product in particular does this too. I mean, we've been in a weekly buy now 28 weeks now, 29 weeks all the way since back in February 7th. So, they're not willing to, really not willing to back off the product. In other words, there's no confidence in the buyers and sellers at this point when it comes to the Turkish lira. There we are. And then from there, we take a look at the Euro Turkish lira, because that's much more trading like a currency. And I've been saying of late, the Euro Turkish lira trades more like a currency, and the dollar Turkish lira pairs trades more like an index. And if anybody wants to know what the difference between two is, I will say it, because I have to think that out in words. I haven't really thought about it. It's just my subconscious telling me that. So if someone asks, I will try to ferret out the exact explanation for that. And we'll show you physical evidence of what I've been seeing. But there it is there. You can see the Turkish lira against the euro is down for 4 days. This is the fourth day. And you can see the green line broke there. And then over here on Chicago Quant, you see the, let's see, what's it doing? Yeah, there it is. Right there. It's been in the sell since here. It's doing a little volatility signal as we speak today. But again, the weekly has been in a weekly buy since back in the 22nd of July. And here we are in September. All right. From the Turkish lira, we slide ourselves over to the Canadian dollar. So let's see what's going on with Canadian. Now, most traders who come here know that we look at the Canadian and we look at the oil market for just a glance, and then we come back to the oil market after we finish off the currencies today. But as always, I'm sipping my tea, excuse me. As always, I like to remind people we can stop what we're doing and go look whatever you're interested in. So there's the dollar CAD. You see it's flirting with a daily sell as we speak right there. What was that yesterday? That was still in the plus, so today is it. It's a couple weeks in the buy. This is the third week now. And then what we do is we see, normally when you see the Canadian go down against the dollar, so in other words, it's gaining value, so there's less Canadians. That's usually a sign of strength in the oil. And we did have some strong oil. I did see that yesterday. But today it doesn't look like it's doing anything but being pushed down, which is curious. Because normally, Canadian would go up on that, not down. And you can see here, this is the crude oil spot right there. And you can see it's tried to make new highs, like that's from yesterday. Or last night, I guess you could say it. And so it tried to make new highs, and now it's back down to the bottom end of this big range of, like I call it the 90-115 range, but here we are trading at like 86 or 87, so obviously we're below the 90, but that does it does hang out. Let's see if we can tighten it up here, and you can see for the last 3+ months they've come down and challenged that area. Let me just put the line across it. You see it does it like right there. So it gets down underneath the 90s, the 90 number, and it starts to find bottoms. All right, from there we march over to the South African Rand. Let's see what they're up to this morning. Okay, where is it at? It's around here somewhere. USD ZAR, right there. There we are. So you can see here, it's trying to roll over, trying to head down, and this is just like the same thing as with the Canadian. When the Canadian and the oil market are going down again, it's losing value. Usually the Canadian goes up. In this case here, when the gold goes down, this goes up. So let's do this. Let's put gold up on there. There we are. Put my lid back on my tea. And there is, we'll put oil up on here. There's US spot right there. You see that pressure on it. And oh wait a minute, I'm sorry, that's not it. We want to go to gold. That's right. There's gold right there. You can see the pressures on that, and now they've digging their heels in a little bit. And you would assume if it's right, we're going to see this start to roll over. We'll see the South African rand start to move down against the dollar. And then let's see where we have it. We have it there. So let's take a look at gold on the Chicago Quant. We'll put gold in there like that. There's gold. So you see the gold trying to do something. Trying to bounce up today and then failed. And let's check out the South African rand again. So you can see it's just kind of drifting up. We are in a weekly buy for the last 3 weeks. So there's some, there's some interest in selling this product, really. That's what happens when it goes up. It means there's more South African rands to the dollar. So in essence, really, they're selling the product, not buying it. It's that inverse thing. In many ways, I like looking at all these currencies more like the way I watch the euro against the dollar, or in other words, I'd rather look at the euro side of it. I like to watch the markets like as if I'm not in the States, where I just sort of get a better feel for the action itself, and it usually is very insightful. All right. From there, that pretty much completes those two particulars, and we go over and we look at the Japanese yen. Wow, look at that spike today. There it is right there. You can see on J4X it's just spiking up with it, and you can see that this product in particular from the 130, what's that, like 133 area, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a buy, 1 day in a sell, and then another, what is that? That's another 8 days. So 15 out of the last 16 days, this thing's been in a buy. Doesn't know how to go down, and when it did go into the sell that 1 day, we're in a weekly buy, so you don't want to take that trade. You got to go neutral at that point, just stand to the side and wait for it to start over again. So it's been a very, very powerful move here. Last I heard, we're in the 20 some odd year range now, 22, 23 year range of highs. We're getting past the turn of this century and the 90s now. Remember, as a young trader, watching the Japanese trade, in the 300s, the 280s, and now we are 142. So there's a lot of room for retracement out of this whole thing. And then 47? Is it Jordan or 47? It looks for, I think it's 47. Looks at the Nikkei. So let's go over to the Nikkei just to see if we can see any comparison. There it is right there. So the Nikkei has been slow sliding with the rest of the equity markets across the planet. It is doing a little flirtation, as you can see there. It's above the zero line. But we went into a weekly sell last week, so there's a lot of noise in this. There's no real easy trade there, and that's what we always like to look for, because we don't like to trade the trade. We like to see easy trades where you make money. That's the way to play this. And there's no real, nothing but really weakness in the all the stock indices at this point. They've all been weak or sideways. Let's see who that is. Do I have to pick it up? Let's hope it's not a dead chicken again. Nope. Okay, that's good. Spam. All right, from there we go over to the to the new. We go to the south of the border and check out the Mexican peso against the dollar. Right there. And as you can see there, it's been in a sell for a couple of days, getting a little volatility signal, and it's been in a weekly sell now. It's from this area about 4 weeks ago, back in the end of or the middle of August. We went into the weekly sell. Actually fell into it right there, in between there and there. So it was right there, and then we were in a daily sell, and so you can see that the thing is trying to come back to that area now. It's done it twice, there and there, but it's not really nothing generating itself at this point. It's just all the same, same power push back and forth. And the Mexican peso has been very good at staying inside its range for a couple of years now, as you can see here. That's what those black lines, it's the Fibonacci between them all. We watch the way it plays with it. Oop, there we are. All right, from there we're done the currencies unless someone says, hey, I'd like to see something, and we'll go back to it. Let's jump over to, who we have up? I think we have gold up on the screen, don't we? So we'll do the metals first. Yeah, no, that's a Nikkei. So there's gold. Gold is pretty much down a little bit for the day. It's in that weekly sell now. It went in there on Friday. It's been in a daily sell for since all the way back in here. Boy, it's been very clear that there's weakness in the metals complex. Over on the silver, let's see what silver's up to. Right there, and it's also doing a cute little bounce, but that's been in a weekly sell for a few weeks now. And so this is going on its fourth week in a weekly sell. And this is the December contract of silver. So the pressure has been constant. We keep on thinking we're going to see some strength going into, I don't know, like mid-October, late September, early November, somewhere along that line. I think they start to lift up the metals complex. I think this is just your classic take it down so they can take it up. Here's copper. Copper's making a stand today. I didn't even look at that. That's interesting. Look at that strength in it. And you can see here, look at that. Even the weekly's trying to come back after just going into the weekly sell last week. So, every time they talk about, the supply and demand and China and all like that stuff, it really shakes this particular product up a lot. But at this point in time, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't have some strength, just solely because of all the electrical devices being built for it. Being built with it. And that is really what it comes down to, is that electric cars and all these electric devices, it's become more and more popular, and so it makes sense for these things to show some value to them. In this case here, copper is trying to lift again. We showed you the stories out of China last week and the week before where there was problems. So we have to wait and see if, I guess it's the People's Congress comes out in October, right? So I was looking at an article I showed it a little while ago. This article here in Zero Hedge. And it was interesting. They were saying that the People's Bank of China kind of does this, like back in 2017, the last People's Congress, they did the same thing. Through the policy signals were less obvious going into then, but they did the same exact policies, lowering, changing rates and so forth to make it look like they're more organized and things are better and so forth. And that really is the whole story of it all. China is the one that really trades and moves the silver. I'm sorry, the copper a lot. And then let's see from there. we slide over to platinum. Let's see what the platinum's up to. That did go in a weekly sell last week. There it is right there, going on a second week now. It was pressured all week long. It's been in a daily sell since right there on the 26th. Let's put that in there. There it is. So you're looking there at 7 days of a daily sell as we speak. It looks like it's as much as it's trying to lift. I don't know if it'll get that much lift out of it, especially with it, with the way interest rates are and so forth. I mean, I think, is Powell speaking in the middle of this week, or is he's going to release something, I think. And then I think what is it? Then I guess it's like the first, I guess it's the end of September, where they'll have a meeting, and the product they'll probably raise 0.75 of a percentage point again. And that'll make markets at least happy that the government or the central bank is being responsible. That's usually what the whole dance is about to begin with. All right, now from the platinum, we'll go over to oil. And there, as you can see, how much it's down. From Friday, it's pretty much unchanged. But yes, last night and some of this morning, I guess it was up. Let's put Brent up there on right there. There's Brent trading in the 93.5 area, showing some pressure, but at the same time, the green line is piercing the dashed line. So you can see the buying is trying to come in. And we have one green and then a red. Let's see if we get another green, and maybe they'll lift this up. I don't know. When looking at the Canadian, you kind of want to believe that that's what they may do. All right. So from there, we jump over to natural gas. And I know Nord Stream has been shut down, so forth and so on. There's natural gas. Backing off a little bit here in the States, we were looking at that Spanish company. Well, I thought that was European natural gas. Giannis was telling us yesterday that they don't post European natural gas. So that's a disappointment. He says he's been pushing on them to do so. That would be very interesting to see, European gas trading. There it is right there, the U.S. gas. And then we've been watching this one, which I thought says Gas Natural SDG SA. I thought that was just that contract. You can see the pressure on it. It's trading at 27. It's been stuck in that 27.5 area for a couple days now. You see it's 56 to 60 WUD. So maybe what we'll start to see is that some type of bottoming, maybe, or this is the top. We're looking for topping. We want this thing to go back down. I mean, we don't need that pressure with the winter coming on. People having to, forage for energy sources, and unfortunately, Europe has really toasted itself, trying to do some odd thing. I don't know, save the solar system or something like that. They're trying to save all the planets in the solar system by messing with fossil fuels. All those earthquakes on Mars, no one expected that. NASA said that it couldn't. Actually, NASA said it couldn't happen because they don't have the tectonic plates that we have. Jupiter and Saturn have gone into reverse weather, and Neptune and Uranus have gone into ice ages. Pluto has lost a third of its atmosphere. There's a lot of wild stuff going on, and I guess they're saying it's all got to do with Earth using oil and gas and so forth. So save the solar system, stop Earth. All right. From there, we go to see. We'll take a look at Robo Gas. This is the oil gas that they put in the. Well, there's heating oil. There's the heating oil. So that's the diesel play, really, or the heating oil. And you can see over here in the States are charting. It's been moving down a little bit there. Let's see if we can tighten this up. You can see it's had fallen down much more about 4 weeks ago, and then it's lifted back up again. Let's see, do we have heating oil in here? Gas, cotton. Nope, don't see it. I'm looking for my glasses. Where did my glasses go? Let's try these guys. See if this helps out. There we are. Oh yeah, that's a little bit better. So, gas, light. Let's see if there's heating oil on there. Gas. What's that? Grid in England. No. Alright. So from there, we're pretty much. Oh, I'll show you on the Chicago Quant. I'll show you the gas oil that they use for the automobiles. This is the October contract. Look for diesel. It's been in retitled. Oh yeah, that's what I just put in there. HO. I just put it in there. Let me go back to that because I had September in there, and September's probably expired at this point. I just realized that because I'm looking at October gas. Yeah, that's the 31st. So let's go over, let's put that in there. The V, October. It's been moving back up again. We had to buy a lot of diesel over the weekend. There you go. So it's back in the weekly buy. This is the 4th week. And it's playing with a daily buy for the last 2 days. Since Friday, it's been a daily buy. And it got as high a week and a half ago up to $4 again. Just because of taxes and so forth here in the States, that can push it close to $5 a gallon. And we don't do an imperial gallon. We do a U.S. gallon, which means it's one less quart. ULUS. Oh, okay. Is that a symbol? Maybe that's an ETF. Let's check that out. ULSD. Let's see what that looks like. USLSD. ULSD. US UL. Let's try that again. What's that? ULSD. Metho says it's better to leave the indices on Friday, even to lowering the costs. Huh. See, so Metho, it's better to leave the indices on Friday, Friday evening, to lower the cost. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That makes sense. All right, so this is US. Let me just go find this thing for Robin. ULSD. That's what it is. ULSD. No, we don't have that. Is that a future, Robin? What is that? Metho says of S&P 500 and Nasdaq. Let's go over there until we find out what that was. Oh, here's Robin now. Let's see what he says. Okay, what is that USLD?
I put it on the chat line.
Yeah, I see that.
To a chart.
But I tried to add it. They don't have it. They don't have it.
They messed up bar chart and they changed it all of a sudden. So that'll give you a chart if you want to look at it.
I just tried to load it. Yeah.
City Livestock, you can see all the quotes.
Oh, okay. I'll take a look at it there.
I noticed it this morning.
Huh. Yeah, because I'd imagine that October heating. It's HO for me. That's. Let me go check that out. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna set.
Go to the US Green City, you'll see it.
Yeah, I'm heading there now. Looking for it right now. Let's see. There's Green City, and it's in the futures. Heating. Ethanol, robo, natural gas, so heating oil. No, I don't see it there.
If you click market overview,
Okay.
first choice.
Okay, let's try that.
To the right, it's down below crude oil.
Crude oil.
It's ULSD, New York
Natural gas, harbor, US. Oh, okay, yeah. That's interesting, but that's not the right symbol. Let me just try that, see what it does.
Yeah, I just saw it this morning. I never saw that before.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, you see it. I'm going to go under the screen. You'll see it. You'll see it here. That's the same thing right here, the HO.
It should be.
Yeah, right there. So, it's was it the crude or the diesel is lifting up again. There's talk that there's going to be pressure on them.
To the upside.
Yeah, there's pressure on that. Yeah. Okie doke. Now let's just check out. Let's see. Okay, that's gone. That's Robin there. Gave a quick call. Let's see. Let's try. Let's minimize that. And then there's the the diesel right there. I wanted to look. Oh, I know it is. I was heading for the gas oil. You're going to see what a difference. This is a 366 right here in the October contract. And then take a look at the automobile fuel with the gasoline, gas oil, I think they call it. Let's see, where's it at? Right there. And that's $1.20 less. That's actually trading $1.20 less. That's amazing. All right, now let's take care of Metho. Let's go over and check out the indices. And I agree with you that if you lighten up on Fridays, then you don't, the margin doesn't pound on you over the weekend. Right there. And there's the S&P 500. Let's see now, that's 2 days. Let's try to fix that so it's just one. There you go. That's better now. There's Friday. There's Monday. You can see it's trying to perk its head up. The weekly it went into a weekly sell last week on the S&P 500. Now let's see what the NQs or the Nasdaq or on Dukascopy. We put that up on there. The Tech 100. Right. There it is right there. 1J4X. You see it here. Let's fix this too. You see that pressure on it. Move that. Put the weekly in. And there's the weekly sell now. Oop. That closed in the weekly sell on Friday. Yeah, I hear you. Think about the yen, or not the yen, but the Nikkei. The Nikkei has that same rhythm. It's just same sideways down, more down than sideways. Just a slow, steady pressure like the rest of them. Look, there's a, are we going to go see the new lows? Let's put it this way: the lows of back in June, right here. I kind of doubt it, but I don't know. You're looking at least 1.5% more of interest rate increases, or at least that's what they're talking about. So, right now we're at like 2.25. So 1.5 would put us up at 3.75. So that should kind of calm some of the people paranoid that the government's doing nothing at all to fight inflation. And we'll look at the stock indices here. And remember, traders, again, if you have any interest in seeing anything, give a yell. Oh, there they are. I was wondering where they got to. And then, let's see, go like this. Let's see what the Dow Jones Industrial Average looks like right there. Same situation, lots of pressure. Went into the daily sell. We can grab some of these sells over here and just put them in. Went into the daily sell for that. Went into a daily buy from right there. Steal this one right there. Okay, so we went into a buy, stayed in a buy there, stayed in a buy there, and then finally went into a sell right there. So there's the pressure that you can see what's going on in the three U.S. stock indices has been pressure down, 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 and down. And you would assume, and not only assume, when you're having interest rate increases like this at 0.75 percentage point, after a decade and a quarter of not barely moving a quarter percentage point, maybe now you would think the Federal Reserve would look back and say, was it really that smart to just keep on pumping money into the system? Instead of fighting inflation by not pumping all this money in there. All right. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, and then we'll go from there to the intraday market. So there's Bitcoin, same situation where it went into the weekly sell, like our daily sell, like everybody else, except for on the weekly situation, it has been in the sell for 4 weeks. In many ways, these cryptos, this particular crypto, is more of an insight, it gives us insight into the pressure of the equity side. I know it wasn't developed for that, but it seems to be a tool. It seems to run better on the upside when the stocks are moving up, and it moves down more aggressively or stays in a sell longer and earlier than when the stock indices get in there. So in this case here, you're saying 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th day in a sell, and it's been in a weekly sell since August 20th. All right, from there we're going to go over to the intraday. You'll be able to get a flavor of the charting, those who are not familiar with us. This is a intraday. We don't follow time the same way other people do. This is a 783 contract bar. So every 783 contracts trade, it generates a new bar. And in this case, at the same time, we call it a 2/3 Tesla, because we'd like to look at 396, 396, and then 396. So that kind of makes it a 2/3. Now you can see here it went into the buy. What is that? Let's see, 56. An hour and 24 minutes ago went into the buy here. Ran all the way up to there, went into the sell. There's your sell signal. It fell down. We went into the intraday buy right there off of this one. It went up. We went into a sell. It went down. All the way to this point here, and then it jumped into, did it go in? Let's see, 2. 1, 2, 3. So it stayed in a sell from this point here, and then it jumped into a buy right there, and then pushed itself right back into a sell again, and then gave you whatever you lost there, you made it right back. That's how our math always works. It's always worked that way for 45 years. Whenever you lose on it, it always finds a way to make the money back for you. And you can see right here, it wasn't a buy for, was it right there? It's this one right there. It was a very small run, and now we are flirting with the daily sell in the S&P 500. And we like to say it all the time around here. If you're going to trade intraday and looking at your daily charts, you want your daily charts to function as well as your intraday charts. So if they don't, then you need to adjust them. You can see here we're dancing softly into that sell. What do we got? We have, where are we at now? We have 61 contracts. So that's done. It's in a sell now. Let's see what they do with this. Did they go after the through 39.42? Let's see. And that, I'm just trying to, and that pressure is, just soft, and I don't see any real. Remember, we're 7 minutes to the New York Open, so sometimes it gets a little wild and woolly going into the last couple minutes here, and we're still pressing down. I'd imagine there'll be one more push down, and then you can, looks like it's going to go challenge that 42 we talked about. And there's a green dot and a red. It's telling us it's trying to turn up. So if you're money managing well, you'll have a stop set up above that. So at least you take some profit in if it jumps up. In this case here, again with about 6.5 minutes from the open, basically it can be a little wild here. But you're seeing it live. And that's what we love to do, is all our charts are live and real action. So, and it looks like we'd be stopped out from there, just taking a small profit from the 46.5 area. And you can see there, that was that action. We can go over to here and look at the Tech 100 right there. That trades on a 1/3 Tesla. And you can see how it's acted well this morning. Same situation, buy, then goes into a sell, and it goes down, and then goes into a buy here, and goes up, goes into a sell here, and it is sloppy, and then goes into a buy. Where's it at? Right there. It goes into a buy, lasts for a bar or two, and then back into the sell again. Back in the sell again, and any money lost is always made back. And then you can see here it went into the buy right there. It was a nice soft little move, and now we went into the sell here, and it's flirting back and forth with the sell. Because it's a red and green, and it's through the line, doesn't make it a buy yet. It has to be, that red dot would have to have been gone. And then, let's see, what did we talk about today? So I can put a title to this at the same time, since we're just staring at little intraday fun. I guess we talked about, what was it? In the beginning, we talked about the strong dollar and how it doesn't want to give up. And the yen, we could talk about the yen too. That was a big, interesting move. We're seeing, decades strength, or I guess you could call it really weakness, in the yen itself. So maybe we'll label it this way: dollar strong, yen weak. 25-year lows. How's that? That sounds like something to talk about. Still in the sell there. You can see that thing just slowly inching its way down. I wonder if the S&Ps went and took out the 42. Let's see what they did. They did. They took it out. They went back. Did it go in the buy? Never made it back into the buy. We just had a good stop where it made some money. But in the end result, the sell took it down to the 42. Interesting. All right, traders. we've had enough fun. We will catch you tomorrow. Also, we want to remind you, and if Giannis is listening, on Monday of next week, we want to do the 3 hour early. So at 5:30 a.m. Eastern, we will start our webinar. Give people a chance to who don't normally get a chance to, be partially or totally awake. So this is Doc from North America. We'll be here at the same time tomorrow as we were today, and then from there, all the week, and then going in on Monday, we're going to start off 3 hours early, just the one day on Monday. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart day. This is Doc saying over and out.